Professor Scott Weaver, and I'll be the instructor for the remainder of this course. I want to take a couple minutes and talk about the assignments that you will have due. It's very important that you spend some time thinking ahead and planning ahead. For example, on the business person interview, you will need to plan ahead and think about a person that is in a business that interests you. Then you'll need to schedule an interview with them and conduct that interview and complete your assignment. The assignment will consist of some questions that you ask them. I've provided some questions, or you can use your own. You have a lot of freedom in that assignment to make it your own. The most important thing is that you get the most benefit from that particular assignment. So create that in a way that you benefit the most from. But you'll need to think ahead and plan for that. Set up a time with that person to interview and give yourself enough time to do the assignments. It'll be due in week 7 of the course. You can turn that assignment in either on a PowerPoint, or you can turn it in a Word document. I already have it pulled up here for time's sake, out of respect for your time, but this will be on week 7 of your course page, Business Person or Entrepreneur Interview Project. You have the instructions here on what to do. It's normally turned in on PowerPoint, but if you'd rather turn it in written format, feel free to do so. If you have any questions regarding this assignment or any other assignment, don't hesitate to contact me. My email is sweaver@tfc.edu. My phone number is 404-444-8768. You can text me, and I can usually respond to text quicker than I see emails and respond. So that's the business person interview. That comes after your business plan assignment. One important note that I need you to be aware of: you cannot miss either of those 2 assignments and still get a good grade in this class. It's very important that you complete both of those and turn them in so that you can not only get a good grade, so you can get as much out of this class and set yourself up for further success here at TFC and future success beyond into your career. Excuse me. I want to talk a little bit about the business plan assignment and go over that with you. Even though it's listed on the second week of your course page, the business plan assignment is not due until the end of week 3, as you'll see. And if you need extra time on this or any assignments, please let me know. Communication is key. It's a sign of good leadership and good business management. I am more than willing to give you the time you need to get as much out of the assignments and to do an awesome job. I really want you to succeed and get a good grade on this. But it's important to think and plan ahead on it and be prepared for it. So like I said, if I can help me anyway, let me know. So it's on week 2 of the course page, but due at the end of week 3. If you'll notice, when you scroll down, you have some business plan instructions and a template, which we'll look at in just a second, and then a business plan template. For time's sake, like I said earlier, out of respect for your time, I have both of those pulled up. But you'll click on those and download them. First, let's look at the business plan template. This is what you'll use to populate with your content in your business plan after reading the assigned reading and watching the videos and PowerPoint slides. So that being said, let's click on the business plan template, which actually I already have that pulled up, and this is what it is going to look like. Let me slide it over. Whenever you download it, this is what your business plan template will look like. Obviously, you'll replace all of this with your own content, the name of your business, the subtitle if needed. You can remove this picture and put a picture that represents your business or your interest there, and your name. So that'll be your cover page. On this next page, you can see will be your table of content. If you'll notice, each one of these are numbered, but as you populate it with your own content, these page numbers will change. And so let's say, for example, when I get ready to do your grade, if I'm looking at the value proposition, I click on it, it automatically takes me to page 7, your value proposition. that number will change whenever you put your own stuff in it. So let me show you how to do that on your table of content if you don't already know how to do it. Once you put your own content in it and you finalize it, just come right here and click, and this box will come up. Click the down arrow and update table, and that will update the page numbers as needed once you have put your own content in this template. So that'll be that part. You'll have your executive summary, company description, market analysis, and then a market plan, and your value propositions can be very important. I'll talk about it in just a second, and your financial analysis and plan. Let me fix that misspelling there. So that is what your business plan template is going to look like that I have provided for you. You're going to put your own content in that, and that's what you will be graded on. Now let's look at the business plan template that has the instructions, and I'll go over this a little bit more in depth with you. This portion, of course, we just looked at the cover page as we noticed, and I talked to you a little bit about the table of contents. I want to go over each section very briefly with you. The executive summary is the most important part of any business plan. This is where it's very important to grab the investor or potential partner's attention. You want to be very careful to not have any grammatical errors. Run through Grammarly, get somebody to double check it for you to make sure your grammar and wording is there. You don't want a very long executive summary. Guys and ladies, please pay attention, listen up. The executive summary should be no more than 1 page, and it'll be okay if you can squeeze the content of the executive summary into half or 3/4 of a page. Less is more when it comes to executive summary. The reason it's so important, if you don't get their attention here, or if you have a lot of errors, you can lose their attention, or deem yourself as somebody they're not interested in doing business or giving you a loan. So executive summary is very, very important. This is where you'll talk about in your new venture, the people, the opportunity, the risk and reward. When doing the executive summary, you want to ask yourself, what is your purpose? Who's your audience? And what do you want? Make it 1 page or less. Your executive summary should contain a mission statement, and do a little bit of research on a mission statement. You want your mission statement to be relatively short. Don't make it long. You want it to be something that is short and memorable. Do yourself a favor and look up Google's mission statement or Amazon's old mission statement. They've added to it and made it a little bit longer with some of the change of leadership, but a short mission statement is very important. You're going to want that in your executive summary. Also, something I don't have here that I need to add is your value proposition. You want your value proposition to be in the executive summary, your value proposition statement, I should say. That is what differentiates you from your competitors. Your value proposition is what convinces me to purchase your product or use your service instead of your competitors. It's what makes you stand out. It's what makes you different. It's what makes you a purple cow in the midst of a sea of white cows. It's what makes you stand out and differentiate you. So that value proposition statement is very important, and you'll want to include that in your executive summary. So the executive summary will be the most important part of your business plan, and then you want to do a little bit more in-depth description and overview of the organization. All your instructions are here. They're basically self-explanatory. You want to introduce your team members, your leaders, what their roles are, very briefly describe your business, restate your mission and your vision, talk a little bit about your product or service. Why should we buy from you instead of a competitor, or something along those lines, and also state what type of business structure would be a LLC, nonprofit, sole proprietorship, etc. And so after that, you will be doing the market analysis. And the most important thing here, what I'll be looking for, is that you identify your barriers to entry. Sometimes that is startup costs. Sometimes it's over regulation. But identify your barrier to entry and then talk a little bit about how you will overcome those barriers. List who your competitors are, and then most importantly, list who your target market is. And then finally, in your market analysis, you want to include a SWOT analysis. You don't have to be super detailed with your SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis stands for your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and your threats or challenges. You just want to list those and maybe talk very briefly about how you could overcome those challenges or how you could take advantage of the opportunities. That is just something that needs to be just very brief. You don't have to be extremely long or detailed with that. Take as much, but try to use as little space as possible with that. And as far as your marketing plan, you'll talk a little bit more about your target market, where your advertising dollars will go, and how you plan to implement that marketing plan, and very briefly about your advertising budget. Spend a minute talking about your value proposition already. Remember, that is what sets you apart. It is what makes you the most competitive. It's what you will use to convince us to buy from you or to utilize your service. Following your value proposition will be your financial analysis. Students, I'm not super overly concerned with this portion. It's important that you know this, don't get me wrong, but you'll get a lot more teaching about the financial aspects of business in your business finance course. For the purpose of this assignment and this class, mainly just list what your startup costs are and your operating costs. Those are the main two things I'll be looking for: startup cost and operation cost. The rest of it you can spend as little time as you desire on those. The most important thing, to reiterate on the financial part, I'll be looking for startup cost and your operating costs. Put a little bit of thought into it. Be realistic. Research some of your other businesses that are similar to yours, and present realistic startup cost and cost to operate, and that'll be the two things I'll look for the most on that portion. So that covers your business plan assignment. Your cover page, table of contents, executive summary, description, your market analysis and market plan, the value proposition. Remember, that's very important. Why do I want to buy from you? Why do I want to use your service? What sets you apart? Think about that and really highlight that. And then the financial analysis, startup cost, operation cost, and you'll do an awesome job. You get a good grade, and my prayer is that you get the most out of this assignment and that you understand what it would take to start up and run a business. I'm Professor Scott Weaver. If I can help you with this assignment or any other, please don't hesitate to call me or email me or text me, preferably text. God bless you guys. Thanks.